Yeah, it was definitely a monkey off our back, but it wasn't unfair. I mean, we tried to address that, since 2009 when we went to the Final Four. We haven't got past the second round.
Right.
And we, the players that are on the team now really weren't really much involved in any of that, but they had to answer the questions all the time. But we really used it as a teaching lesson for them. But this is part of being a big-time athlete. You take a lot of praise when we win the Big East championship, and if you're going to take the praise, you got to take the hits when we're not successful. And I thought our guys handled it great.
Now, Coach, we just had on your old Big East buddy Jim Boeheim, and he had a message for you, and here it is. We have Jay Wright coming on. You have any message for your former Big East guy?
Jay's a great coach. He's got a great team, and just play one game at a time. And it only takes 2 more wins to get all the stuff off your back. That's just the way it is. It's hard to win in this darn tournament.
That's his advice, one game at a time. I'm sure you've heard that before.
My man, he's been doing it a long time, man. That guy, I would take that advice anytime. He knows what he's doing.
Are you thinking this? Obviously, you have to deal with the game you have at hand. Coach, I went to University of Maryland, who is hanging out in that bracket and waiting for you should they get by Kansas. Also, either way, you have the option of facing either a very strong Kansas team or a very talented, though underwhelming during the regular season, Maryland team. Obviously, you care about this first game the most, but is there a preference you have between the two after that?
No, not at all. When it gets to this point, you're so concerned about the next game, you don't worry about it. We actually scrimmaged Maryland before the start of the season, and by NCAA rules, at the time, you're not allowed to talk about the scrimmage or, any of that. So no one really knew about it. But it was funny. It was a great competitive scrimmage, and we both said after the scrimmage, we said, wow, that might have been one of the best games ever played that no one ever knew about.
Wow.
Because no one's allowed in the gym, from anywhere. And it was just our teams and our staff. And it was awesome. It was great basketball. And we said that, man, it would be really cool if we ever met in the NCAA tournament. So if we got the chance, that would be cool.
All right, so with the focus being on Miami, tell us some of the problems they present.
A very experienced team. You don't really run into many college basketball teams like this anymore. They've got a lot of fifth-year seniors. They've got 3 transfers that are fifth-year seniors and have played for Jim Larinaga for a while. Jim's, as you guys know, a very good tactical coach, and when he gets guys in his program for a number of years, by the time they're juniors and seniors, they're really good. These guys are they're just veterans. They really know how to win basketball games. The game they played against Wichita State was a great example. They came out ready to play, jumped them. Wichita State made a run at them, came back, took the lead, and then as soon as Wichita State took the lead, they just went right back. Rodriguez hit a huge 3, and McClellan got a big bucket. They just know how to win, and they've been doing it for a couple of years now. So a really tough team that's not going to be at all affected by the moment, and we've got an experienced team too, so it should be a great game.
I'm wondering, has this tournament uncovered what I think a lot of people within the college basketball community knew? If you don't have the one and done great player, and you just get the kids that stay 4 years, you might be better off. Maybe not that 1 year when you have that great one and done player, but the teams that are senior leadership, Jay, it seems like they progress.
Definitely, Michael, and you know what? It's been that way. It's always been that way, but there's been so many great one-and-done guys, like Duke last year and obviously the Kentucky teams. There's been so many of those guys that they get a lot of the attention. But in a year like this year where Ben Simmons, probably is the most highly touted one-and-done guy, they didn't make the tournament, and Ingram and Duke is probably the next best, if not the best. Other than those guys, all the other teams are experienced teams, and a team like Kansas that usually has a one-and-done guy or two, this year they just don't happen to have it, but they have a great team that's experienced. And, Maryland's got a one-and-done guy, but they've got experienced guys like Suleiman's a fifth-year guy, he's a veteran guy. So I I think it's always been that way. Just we haven't paid as much attention to the one-and-done guys this year because there's so few.
And, many people start talking about parity. Do you believe there's parity in this tournament, Jay?
More so than ever. More so than ever. Last year you kind of Wisconsin and Kentucky and Duke, you kind of knew those guys were a step above everybody. Because of the tournament, the pressure. You're playing with 18 and 22-year-old kids. They could have gotten upset, but you kind of knew they were head and shoulders above people. But this year, you could tell by how many teams were number one. We were number one this year for a while, and I'm telling you, we're not a dominant team. We could win it all, but we could get beat by anybody. So this year has, I think, showed parity more than any other year in a long time.